Alright guys, with Raw Roslot, your WWE wrestling reviewer, heavyweight champion of YouTube, but today I'm not going to be talking about wrestling. Today I'm going to be talking about another one of my favourite subjects, Marvel Comics, as today I went to watch Marvel's Avengers Infinity War. And I'm going to do a spoilers discussion, so here's your first warning, there will be spoilers. I do this for a lot of the big releases, the Star Warses, the Batman and Supermans, and I thought I needed to do one for Infinity War because honestly, I love Marvel films. I think Marvel films are usually very, very well directed, they're usually very well edited, but they should be. They have very big budgets. And Infinity War, just an example, for example, I thought Black Panther was an okay film. Like, I thought it was, it was well directed, it's well acted, but on the budgets these films have, they should be. And to me, it's really the plots of these films and the character dynamics that keep me interested. And with a film like Black Panther, I didn't really get that. I thought Killmonger was a great villain, but in terms of the broader universe, Killmonger's never going to appear again. Michael B. Jordan was great in the role, as Michael Keaton was in Spider-Man, for example. There's another good example. But I don't think in the broader universe they're going to have a big play, or a big role, sorry. Marvel's Avengers Infinity War may be the most important Marvel film they have ever done. It books every single trend you've ever believed in for Marvel films. I always thought, honestly, I've watched a lot of Marvel films now. I've watched every single one since they began the MCU back with Iron Man in 2008. We are 10 years into the MCU. We are 20-something, 25, 26 films strong. 3 phases. I believe this is the end of phase 3 actually. And we have so many heroes. And this film here I think is the most important one in the MCU. Now I'm going to talk about spoilers. I'll do that again. Because it had the balls. It had the balls to kill characters off. Now I love the MCU and I know people are probably thinking, why would you want characters to die? I want characters to die because it works better from a storyline perspective. For example, every single Marvel film that I've really seen up to this point has had a villain who has, he's been cocky, he's been arrogant, he's proclaimed a lot, he's said he's going to take over the world, and then he's thwarted, and the hero survives, and it's all happy-go-lucky. This film right here, with Thanos as the villain, just set the blueprint on how you do these big, because this is the culmination of a phase. This is the end of phase 3, I believe, and this is how you end it. Like, this is how you end each sector, with a big blow up movie, where this movie was maybe the coolest as well in terms of what it did. This movie had, all these characters, the Guardians, the Guardians, the Avengers. You had all these different characters coming together in this one film. Black Panther, Spider-Man, you had all these characters come together in this one film, and it was magical. And going back to the Thanos thing, Thanos is a villain that you can't half-ass. Thanos is one of the most powerful villains in the Marvel comics, and to put him onto screen, he needs to be dominant, he needs to threat, he can't just be a villain like Killmonger was, or like Vulture was, or like, Ultron was. Just a villain who just proclaims a lot of bullshit and then does nothing with it. Thanos needs to be a villain who comes in, he kicks ass, he kills people, and he honestly needed to win the first part of Infinity War. There's 2 parts to Infinity War. It's kind of like Empire Strikes Back. Thanos needed to win the first part so the rebels and the Avengers and the heroes could win the second part. And that is what I loved about this film the most. This film shocked me with how much Thanos got in. Thanos, within 10 minutes of the film, had killed off a main character. So, talking about spoilers, guys, at the beginning of the film, Thanos attacks Thor's ship after Thor Ragnarok. Thor is thwarted, Hulk is thwarted, Bruce Banner tries to attack Thanos as the Hulk, totally fails. Loki attempts to stab Thanos, and Loki is killed by Thanos. That is the first major death we have had in the MCU in so long. They killed Quicksilver in Age of Ultron, and that was really the last big death they had in the franchise. Like, and Quicksilver was actually introduced in that film, so it didn't feel like that big of a death. It felt like they kind of could have done Rhodey in Civil War, but Civil War, I think, was such a grandiose film, and I think Civil War is also a great example of a film that should be like a phase-ending film. It was just like a big raucous of all these people clashing and coming together. Now, Civil War didn't kill anyone off, but Civil War made you feel like people could die. And I don't feel like that in any other Marvel film. Obviously, in this one I did. Loki dies 10 minutes into the film. And I just thought, Thanos, dude. And as soon as I saw him kill Loki, and I was like, right, let's raise the stakes. Let's kill someone else. So, there's a couple of subplots going on. You have Tony Stark and Stephen Strange are on a ship, one of Thanos' ships, and they are trying to basically come up with a way to defeat Thanos. They run into, obviously they've got Spidey with them as well. You've also got the Guardians of the Galaxy who find Thor. Thor needs a new weapon. Thor goes with Teenage Groot, who I think Teenage Groot was actually maybe the weakest incarnation of Groot they've done. I think Baby Groot was a little bit more charming. He was supposed to be. He was a baby. But I don't know, Teenage Groot was annoying, and I think that he's annoying in the sense they wanted him to be annoying, but I just think that, I don't know, I think they maybe missed the beat with that a little bit. So you got Teenage Groot, Rocket, and Thor going to get Thor a new weapon so he can fight Thanos. And then you've got Drax, Mantis, Gamora, and Star-Lord going to retrieve one of the Infinity Stones from nowhere. And they get to nowhere, and the stone is not there, I believe. And they go to fight Thanos. Thanos takes Gamora away and takes her to it's like Vormir, the planet, and he takes he takes her to Vormir. She says she will show him where the Soul Stone is to save Nebula. Nebula at this point has been captured by Thanos. And when they get to the top of this peak where the Soul Stone is, the kind of guru guy basically tells Thanos that to get the Soul Stone, you have to sacrifice a soul. And I, in the cinema, started smiling, because I was like, I know where this is going. Like, Thanos starts, like, looking sad, and you can see Gamora's just taunting him, like, like, you've never loved anyone in your life. Like, you've got to sacrifice someone that you love, and you've never loved anyone in your life. And Thanos turns around, and he's just like, and the guru guy's like, he's not crying for you. He's not crying for him, he's crying for you. And Gamora's like, no. And Thanos just takes Gamora and throws her off the edge and kills her. And I just thought, again, like, I didn't see that. Gamora's dead. Like, here's the thing with these two dead. So Loki's dead, Gamora's dead. Keep them dead, please. I love Zoe Saldana. I love Tom Hiddleston. Keep them dead. They were great characters. They had great character moments in their movies. And keep them dead, because this Gamora moment honestly nearly made me cry. This was one of the couple of moments in the film that really got me. Just perfect acting. Just Gamora's reaction to being like, no, you can't kill me. And there's an even better reaction a little bit later on, which we'll get to in a bit. But yeah, Thanos kills Gamora, takes the Soul Stone. At this point, he now has 4. He only needs 2. He now needs the the Mind Stone from Vision's head, and he needs the Time Stone from Strange's amulet. Okay, so Thanos at this point goes after Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange and Iron Man and Spider-Man have landed on the planet Titan, and they plan on basically catching Thanos in an area where he can't hurt any civilians. They run into the rest of the Guardians, which at this point is only Star-Lord, Drax, and Mantis. So the 6 of them fight Thanos. It is insane. Like, saying the editing and the fighting in these movies is great, is really redundant at this point, because it's supposed to be. It's a $300 million film. It's going to make $1 billion at the box office. It's maybe going to be Avengers of Age of Ultron. I don't know if it'll be the first one. The first one, is the 3rd highest grossing film of all time. So But yeah, they all fight Thanos. They lose. Thanos wins because Thanos, as Mantis is reading his mind, Mantis discovers that Thanos has killed Gamora, and Star-Lord just is enraged. Like, this honestly made me so sad when Star-Lord was, please tell me he's lying, please tell me he's lying. He's not lying, please keep it dead for the love of God. And basically, they all basically fall apart. Thanos wrecks them all. He grabs Strange's amulet. Well, no, he grabs Strange's amulet. He breaks it. It's a fake one. He basically fights Tony Stark, knocks his helmet off, stabs him, takes out Drax, takes out Mantis, takes out Spider-Man, who at this point has a snazzy little 2099 suit. It looked awesome. And I'm just thinking about that new Venom thing. If that Venom can tie into this Spider-Man, that Tom Hardy Venom and this Spider-Man could be awesome. I want to see that Venom maybe against symbiote Spider-Man with Tom Holland. I think Tom Holland could do an awesome job there. But no, so he takes everyone out. He stabs Tony Stark, and then Strange says, "Let him live. I'll give you the stone." Gives him the time stone. Thanos now has 5 stones. He needs one more to complete the Infinity Gauntlet. And Thanos immediately goes to Wakanda, where Captain America, he's back. Captain America, a bit earlier on in the movie, he, Natasha Romanoff, and Sam Wilson, Falcon, all save Vision and Wanda Maximoff, Scarlet Witch, from a couple of Thanos' men in Scotland, because Vision and Wanda are now in love. Now, we've never seen that bit. We're kind of missing a bit where they fell in love. We saw something in Civil War, but to me, it kind of just, it grinded my gears a little bit outside of one scene. And so basically, they got saved by Black Widow, Cap, and Falcon. They got taken to Wakanda, where they needed to find something to take the Infinity Stone out of Vision's head, because that was the plan. They didn't want to kill Vision, because Vision, inside of him, also has parts of Banner. He has Bruce Banner's there too. He has parts of Bruce Banner in him, Tony Stark in him. He has parts of Ultron in him, so he can live without the stone, is what they kind of come to terms with. And they take him to Wakanda. Wakanda gets under attack from loads of Thanos' men. There's some great fight scenes here with Romanov and Michonne from The Walking Dead. I can't remember her character's name, I'm sorry. It's like Sherry or something. But yeah, there's some great fighting here. Just Cap doesn't have a shield either, which I thought was kind of cool. Cap is rugged now. He's got his beard. You got Natasha, she's all blonde. It's fine. It's fine with me. So at Wakanda, Thanos eventually turns up with his 5 Infinity Stones, and everyone just runs at him. And they're all trying to save Vision. Vision, in the end, the lab gets attacked, and Vision has to escape. Vision is outside, and they're all trying to save him. Bruce Banner's in the Hulkbuster fighting, and Bruce Banner can't turn back into the Hulk, which I thought was a running gag throughout the film. A little bit too much. I wish that at the end they had, because the idea was it was supposed to be like an erection joke, and you know he couldn't get it up was supposed to be the joke, and I don't know, it was a little bit too overplayed. I wish at the end he had just turned into a Hulk and then fought Thanos again and been slaughtered. But no, Thanos turns up, and Wanda just looks at Vision, and Vision's just like, just take it out, just kill me and just destroy it. So Wanda's trying to destroy it, and everybody else is just trying to buy time and attack Thanos. So Cap goes at him, gets thwarted. You have the Black Panther, who's there too, gets thwarted. Romanov thwarted. Just everyone, just Sam and Rhodey's there too. They all just get absolutely thrown away. And Thanos is getting closer to Wanda, and she finally destroys Vision, and Thanos is like, oh dear. And then what does he do? He just reverses time. Like, he reverses time because he's now at the time stone, brings Vision back, pulls it out of his head. Vision is dead. Vision's gone. He's literally gone. Like, he's gone. Like, he's gone. He's dead. Like, again, like, I was just... I could not have written this movie any better. Like, if you gave me the script and were like, Ross, how would you write this movie? I would not have wrote this better than this. So Vision's dead. Thanos has all 6 Infinity Stones, but Thor, out of nowhere, he turns up with Groot and Rocket Raccoon. Thor attacks Thanos with this new hammer that was made by Peter Dinklage, who was a dwarf in this film. I found quite funny. He attacks him with this big hammer, but he doesn't hit the gauntlet. He doesn't get Thanos in the head. He gets him in the gut. Thanos uses the gauntlet, basically erases, and this is the best part, he uses the gauntlet and he erases half of the population. So what happens now is you see loads of the heroes that we love and have come to love throughout all of these films, and they disappear. They get erased from time, I believe, or erased from reality. Now, these deaths I don't think are going to stick because there was too many. They were too plentiful. They were very important. Some of them were important characters. Like, you could kill Gamora, you could kill Vision, you could kill Loki. Their stories have already been told. The characters that were a waste were characters like, well, the bigger ones were Black Panther, a character who's only had one movie. He's got a lot more to tell. Spider-Man, he's got a lot more to tell. And he had a fantastic moment where Spider-Man was being erased, and he was like, all throughout the film, Peter had been, saying to Mr. Stark, I can do this, Mr. Stark, I can do it, don't worry about me. And just at that moment when he's just noticed that he's dissipating, he looks at Mr. Stark and he goes, I don't want to die, I'm not ready. And it's just one of those, like, really childish, one of those great moments that just got me again. Like, just perfect script. Like, I could not have wrote the script any better. So Panther erased, he dissipates. You've got Spider-Man dissipates. Wanda Maximoff, Scarlet Witch goes. Star-Lord, Drax, Mantis, Groot, like, all these characters have been erased from time. Now, these characters are not going to be dead. These characters are going to come back. And I don't think the MCU should last much longer. I think that you should finish it, really, with Infinity War Part 2. I know they're not going to, because there's money in it, but I just think this, honestly, was one of the best, like, half conclusions. And at the end of the film, Thanos is sitting proud, and Thanos has won. How many Marvel films has a villain ever won? Like, it's just jarring to watch, and it's amazing. It is truly a breathtaking film from start to end. There's not as much, in terms of what I criticise, there aren't as many moments of levity where characters can just sit around and chat, but that's fine because the stakes are so high, and you present that they're high by killing characters off. And, I was proud of the Russo brothers and everyone who performed in this film. I think that Josh Brolin was insane. This is a Thanos film. Like, this is Avengers, but this should be Thanos. This is a Thanos film. Thanos is the star of this film. He makes you emotional when he kills his daughter. It is insane. He makes you think, what a bastard, when he kills Loki and rips Vision's thing out of his head, is the Mind Stone out of his head. It's brutal, and it's beautiful at the same time, because it's just what the MCU has needed for so long. I thought Black Panther was fine. Like, it was fine. Again, it's a good looking film. It's pretty. It's well acted. It's got a good score, Kendrick Lamar. But, like, this is a Marvel film. This is a proper. I have not seen a Marvel film this good since Ragnarok's great. Since Civil War. Civil War to me is actually like the peak of the Marvel MCU. I didn't think they'd ever top it. I thought that was like nearly like a 10 out of 10 perfect film. Like, this film here, because the stakes were higher than that, because these characters had to work together to fight this entity, and they lost. And I love that. And people, it's weird because people are going to be so sad, and like, the ending is going to divide people because of how much of a cliffhanger it is. But I don't mind that because it's part one. Like, it is part one. It's Infinity War Part 1. And you've got to look at it as each film in the MCU shouldn't really ever have a conclusive ending. Like, yeah, they should. Like, you should beat the villain and that's it. But in this case, you can't. You can't just beat Thanos in one film. He is Thanos. He is honestly what I thought Ultron was going to be in Age of Ultron. Age of Ultron's trailers made it look so dark, so bleak, so grim. And that's what this film was. It was from start to finish. There was very little humor. Like the humor they did was very well done. Like there was some great jokes, especially with Thor and Rocket and Groot. I didn't think any of these storylines went on too long. I've heard a couple of people say they did. I didn't. I thought that they all had a good amount of time to breathe. I thought the character dynamics were perfect. Stephen Strange and Tony Stark was excellent. I thought that Star-Lord and Tony Stark was a great little moment with the Guardians as well, seeing guys like Spidey and obviously Iron Man and Doctor Strange. You had just... And then Rogers and Panther and just their like history from Civil War. It's just a great film. And you've got to sit through the credits. It's a Marvel film. That's what you do. You sit through the credits and you see Nick Fury as well. Samuel L. Jackson. I bet he got a good payday for this film for his one scene. He as well is being erased. And just before he can be erased, he's going to call someone. And as he drops his phone, you see the symbol. It is the symbol of Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel. Now, Captain Marvel, I believe, is out this year too. I know that the next MCU film is Ant-Man and Wasp. Ant-Man is not on the shirt. Most of the characters on the shirt are the ones that survived, which I'll talk about in a minute. But Ant-Man and Wasp is in June or July, and I think that film, it doesn't feel right being the next film. Now, Scott Lang and Clint Barton were the only two heroes that didn't really appear in this film. I can't honestly think of anyone else. They did say that they weren't there. They never really explained it. I think they said that because of the stakes, Scott and Clint had taken their families away and put them into safety. They have families. The rest of these guys really don't. And that's decent. That's fine storytelling. That's good continuity. And one of those things that it just wowed me how well they booked Thanos. Like they wrote Thanos. It was just like watching what I'd think. Like when you've seen Thanos in all these films and especially when he has the gauntlet, like he should be unbeatable with that gauntlet. Now they will beat him because it's a superhero movie and it's a kids movie, and I like the fact that if you took a kid to see this film, he'd be damn upset because at the end of this day, this film isn't just for kids. It's for us. It's for Marvel fans who've read these comics and love these characters, and it just hit that note perfectly. I have a tattoo, by the way. I just noticed I've never ever mentioned that on camera. I'm gonna get a Marvel tattoo of something. I'm just thinking of what. But no, it just hit that like perfect note of like dark and dreadness, and people are gonna come out of this, and there will be people who say, "Oh, this film's too dark." Like that was the point. That was the point of this film, and it's just one of those films where you just want to bloody pop up. I'm just in a good mood, so it really doesn't matter that much. But it's one of those films where you just like as soon as it finished, I was just like, I want to watch that again. Because I want to see what they do next. Like, Ant-Man and Wasp is the next film, and then we have Captain Marvel, we have Infinity War Part 2 next year, we have... honestly, I'd end it after Infinity War Part 2, because you've done, your 11 years, and this was the 10-year anniversary of the opening of the MCU, and I just can't think of a better way for them to do it than to just... kind of book every trend and say, look, characters can die. We can do this. And this is one of those things people kind of get on DC about. Oh, DC, they're too dark, they're too depressing. They should be like Marvel. Marvel, in some ways, should be like DC. They should kill characters off. They should take risks. That was my problem with Black Panther, with Ant-Man. And these aren't bad films. I don't think a film's bad because I give it one criticism. People honestly need to understand this. Every Marvel film is beautiful. It's always beautiful. The CGI is fantastic. It costs $200 billion. It should look fantastic. And that's not me hurting it. If anything, the CGI should be better than one than a film with $50 million of CGI. So, yeah, the acting's top notch. You've got some quality actors. If you look at the cast for this film, you've got Chris Pratt, Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, Josh Brolin, you've got, not Jeremy Renner, you've got Benedict Cumberbatch, Scarlett Johansson, Emily Olsen, you've got Samuel L. Jackson for 3 seconds. Like, this film's cast was huge. You've got Tom Holland, who's a fantastic young actor. Uh, it's just an amazing achievement, this film, if anything. Like, it's... I don't think I've ever seen so many big actors come together for one project to create one big, giant thing, and I just hope it gets the praise it deserves, because I know that the ending is gonna get crapped on. I think quite a lot. I think the bleakness is gonna get hurt quite a lot, and I just don't think it should, because it was perfect timing. It hit at a time when the MCU had become predictable, and especially after watching Black Panther. Like, that film's not bad. I go on about it a lot, but like, it's not a bad film. It's a good film, but it just... And I love Killmonger. I just wish he was in it more. This villain in Thanos feels like a villain that they could build 2 or 3 more films around. And as much as I don't really want that, I kind of want it to end. I want the MCU to end soon, because I don't want it to go on for 20 years. I don't want Disney to pimp out Iron Man and Cap and Thor. You know, Cap. Like, Cap is my favourite superhero of all time. And I don't want him to pimp all these great... I don't want Disney to pimp all these great characters out for so long. And I don't want Downey and Evans and Hemsworth to just keep coming in and picking up a paycheck. You can tell they enjoy the job, but eventually it's going to get monotonous and tedious. And I want to see these guys in different roles. Like, I was a bit annoyed, kind of, and this is kind of going off suit, but I was a bit annoyed when Benedict Cumberbatch was announced as Doctor Strange. I just thought, oh, the guy's in everything. Like, can we get someone else doing the role? He was good in the role, but, like, it's kind of like when I can't remember the last who's doing Captain Marvel, but that's kind of a different actress. And we've got, like, Paul Rudd as Ant-Man was actually one of my favourite casting choices they've ever done in the MCU. I just think it was different. It was a guy who hadn't been in a lot lately. And, you know, some of the cast choices have been excellent, and he always will be. Ruffalo, I think, is an excellent Hulk. I think that in this movie, he was more the comedy. And he had one brief moment of romance with Natasha, which was more like, "Hi, Nat. Hi, Bruce," and that was it. Like, the only real romance in this movie, which is again one of the saddest points to me, and I don't think a lot of people it quite resonated with them as much, was the Vision Wanda scene, and when Wanda is pulling the stone out of his head. Well, she's killing him by pulling the stone out of his head. By destroying the stone, and just before she destroys it, Vision just says, "I love you." And it's one of those things where, like, again, as I said, I don't think it was that believable. You haven't presented it on screen enough for me to really get behind it, but it just caught me off guard, and I just think it was his delivery and Maximoff's Emily Olsen's face at the time. It just caught me off guard and kind of nearly got me. Like, it's just one of those movies that you are happy to be sad, and it's a breathtaking film. In rating it, I have to give it the same I gave Civil War. I can't give it a 10 just because there was a few uneven story moments which took away from the seriousness of what was going on. There was a few times where characters didn't react or act in the way they should in the position they were in. So in 9.5, the joint best Marvel Cinematic Universe film is a breathtaking achievement in filmmaking, in script writing, in bringing together an ensemble cast. It is a beautiful film, it's beautifully shot, and it is a fantastic ride to cry on. So guys, thanks for watching. This has been my Avengers Infinity War spoiler talk discussion. Tell me your thoughts. What did you think to Avengers Infinity War? What did you think to the shocking deaths we saw? Do you think those characters who died at the end are coming back? If so, if you do, how do you think they're coming back? I just think someone's probably going to get a hold of the gauntlet, or they're going to destroy the gauntlet, and that will bring it back somehow. Who was your favourite character in the film? Which performance was your favourite? What did you think to Josh Brolin in his first full film as Thanos? Which death hurt you the most? And what are you looking forward to next in the MCU? Is it Ant-Man and Wasp? Is it Captain Marvel? And I guess that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. This has been Revolver Russell.